Hey guys, and welcome to CMJ Live. How you guys doing? Hope you guys had a great week. My week was fantastic because I'm off on holidays. So I'm enjoying this day, coming in, hanging out with you. But I got my special guest. How you doing?
Hi, I'm good.
That's
How are
right.
you?
I'm good. Please introduce yourself.
Thanks. My name's Beth Hudson.
All right. So Beth, I always, I repeat the same thing over and over. I always like my guests to know who you are. We found each other on Facebook and LinkedIn, and I did some research on you. So let's go back, okay? Where are you from, Beth?
I'm from London, Ontario.
Okay.
I was born and bred there, and then I moved to Brantford along the way in my 20s, and now Burlington, Ontario.
So you see, that's the thing. You drove all the way from Burlington
I did.
all the way to here.
My little Fiat on the 407. Pedal to the pedal.
All right. So what school did you go to?
I went to Saunders Secondary School in London. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I've been to a few art and design schools.
Art and design.
Yeah.
I'm finding a lot of my guests are always into the arts and design. What did you take?
Originally fine arts.
Okay.
I graduated with fine arts diploma. I've also studied fashion design and have an interior design diploma and a graphic design diploma.
Oh my goodness! So it's all about the arts for you. It's all about what you're doing.
Well, yes and no. Life takes you on these funny paths, right?
Yes.
Where, my education was always in art and design, and I still do design work and graphic design and branding, and I freelance. But life has taken me on a different path.
Yeah.
It's chosen my path for me, or maybe I did before I came.
somewhere
along the line.
yeah.
Yeah, everything changed. So I actually started a nonprofit. I launched a nonprofit about 7 years ago to help single moms and their children in the community.
Yeah.
And then from there, I've launched a business, or I call it a community, really, called Answers for Women. So I'm trying to create opportunities for women to get together, to connect, and then support each other, and to learn and grow so we can reach our highest potential.
Yeah.
Personally and professionally. So there's personal growth that happens and professional growth as well. And then we get to kind of support each other and work together and be inspired, empowered from each other. It makes a huge difference.
Right. So then let's go back a little bit.
Okay.
How'd you know, after doing the design, you're doing design all this time, how'd you know, okay, let's pull some breaks here. Design is not what I'm thinking of, or the arts, and all of a sudden you go into speaking and helping out and doing that stuff. Where was the change for you?
I guess the pivotal point started when I was reading a book by Oprah's boyfriend about creating your dream life.
Okay.
And I believe it's called The 7 Steps to Success. He asked in the book, what if you're on your deathbed, what's going to matter to you? Yeah, it's a big one.
Yeah, that's a question. I don't think what really matters when you're dying, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So Stedman Graham wrote about. It was a book that got you to thinking and got you to write and to journal as you were going, and pivotal, those aha moments in your life that make huge impact for you and changes. So. I wrote, if I haven't made a difference with my time here, then I've completely wasted my life on this planet.
Yeah.
And I didn't even realize I felt that way.
Okay.
So that was a really magical part of it, is that it just came from my higher self and my soul, not from my brain. Right. So I was talking to a woman who's a mentor for me in Burlington, where I moved to, and she was always helping me and kind of pushing me and prodding me and encouraging me, and life through curves. So there was times where there wasn't work in design, and there was times where I actually worked with children and taught little kids for a long time, and worked with preschoolers and Montessori's and school-age children. So I was kind of going more social work or social-oriented, community-oriented that way, and she planted the seed, and she said to me, Beth, why don't you look into starting a single mom support group?
Okay.
And my first thought was, me? Why me?
Yeah.
Pick somebody with, a psychology degree, or something that has more of a background in education, right? So but she knew me, and she knew how my mind works and how passionate I can be, and I'm pretty good at putting things together in projects and connecting people. So I went up to my apartment and I started to write out what that would look like for me, for the women. And within a couple hours, I had a plan, and I came back and showed it to her. And she said, that looks awesome. So I got some of my friends to help me, and got people in the community to support. And within 6 weeks, we launched it.
Wow.
Yeah, at the YMCA. And we had a focus group, and I think maybe 60 or 80 women came.
That's
and it was
great.
Amazing. Yeah, so that's kind of what started me on this path that I'm on now. So for 3 years we supported single moms and their kids in the community, and I ran a weekly sport meeting, and then we had a children's program in tandem so the kids could go to their program. And we had a social outing once a month so the women could get together and socialize and make friends and have some fun and laugh and be happy, not stressed. And then we volunteered in the community once a month, which I thought was really important that we give back, because so many people and so many things in our society are out there. There's different groups and offerings from the community and the government to help and support.
Okay.
So and I'm a believer, if you need help, then certainly take the help when you need it.
Right.
But then it's also so important to give back as well and to help others, because there's always people in need that have greater needs.
Right.
And then we still have two hands. We can help with our two hands.
So going on, that's like a whirlwind, because in 6 weeks, you said?
We launched it.
In 6 weeks, just boom, 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 get it over, let's get it out there and let's do something.
Yeah.
And then you got from 60 to 80 people that came in, right? Yeah. Now, what was the feedback? Because it was your first one, right? Like they jumped in, word of mouth, somebody came out. What was the feedback?
The women were so excited to have a voice and to know that someone or people out there care and that they're not alone. And that was the biggest thing. So we ended up having 50 volunteers, and I ended up with a huge office space with place where the women could come for counseling and coaching, and we ran our events and our support groups and so on out of this. It was called the Center for Skills Development and Training. It was a Board of Ed center in Burlington, So it was just, there was such a huge need and a huge relief. And I've had women that I've stayed in touch with, a lot of them throughout the last few years, and they became friends as well, right? And so many people have said to me that was the best time of my life.
Okay.
You know.
So now
and it just never was the same after that.
And these women, what age group are you taking these women?
Those women could be any age. So, I mean, some of them were in their 20s and 30s, and then some 40s.
Okay.
For the most part, maybe 50s, but, you know.
And is it like a situation, or is it just, they got divorced, or, single moms, or whatever the case is? You're just bringing everybody. It could be anything.
Yeah, it could be anything. Some of the women were widows. Some of them were separate and divorced. Some of them, the men were never in the child's life or their life.
Right.
So there was a whole spectrum of a variety of situations and stories, for sure.
So is it more of a need of a place to go, or like a girlfriend day, you just needed to de-stress, sometimes a girlfriend day, or is it more of financial? Where do I go? I don't know what to do. You know what I mean?
So for the needs of the women, there's a variety. There's a huge variety. So, and that's kind of what's got me on the coaching path of helping women, because I'm quite good at helping them create clarity in the muddle. So single moms particularly, and in general people, and women, but single moms particularly had a lot going on in their head.
Right.
So there's that financial piece that's extremely stressful, and then the career, what are they going to do with their life that brings them joy and works with work-life balance as raising children on their own.
Right.
And make enough money to pay their bills. But then life is so much more than that, right? Then they said there's the joy piece, there's the fulfillment and self-esteem, self-worth, self-value, right? So there's so many aspects of their life that, and I was there too as a single mom, so that we struggle with. So helping them create clarity in all of those categories, and then helping create a plan of what do they want and how are they going to get there. So we simplify it to make it put into easier steps, right? So it's manageable.
So as you said, you're a single mom, right? So how many ones do you have?
I have one.
One. There you go.
I have one daughter. She's 18 now.
Okay, so you understand.
Yes.
So it's not like something you just said, I'm just going to do this. This is something that you understand, you went through, and it's hold a bond. And then I guess that actually helps out with the mother and the child, actually. Because the bond gets different. The mom is de-stressed, not worried about certain things, have more time for the child, son or daughter, but then it kind of brings them, I guess, closer together.
Yeah.
Because earlier I heard you say that you had like a little workshops for them as well?
Right, so we ran a weekly support group. So we would have women entrepreneurs or male to professionals come in every week and speak. So they were constantly getting, and I myself as well, and even with the Answers for Women, it's the same idea, as constantly and continuous feedback, ideas, concepts, wisdom, learning, growth.
Right, because sometimes the single mom might have a great business idea, but because she's a single mom, it's like, okay, where do I go? How do I balance my child, my work, and this new venture to go out?
Yeah.
Right. So this
that could be part of it for sure, and a lot of it is, like I said, self-esteem, self-love, self-worth, which I think many women struggle with.
Right.
So whatever I was doing with the nonprofit and with Answers for Women now, that personal growth piece is huge.
Okay. So give us an address again, because I heard you saying, is there a location or a phone number that the women can contact if they want to get into this program?
Well, the nonprofit isn't in existence anymore.
Okay.
So that closed 3 years ago. So
Okay.
since then, I launched Answers for Women.
Okay.
So that's to help all women. So because I had so many women come to me and say, I'm not a single mom, but I really want to come to your group.
I get it.
So we had yoga, we had meditation, speakers, sharing.
So then this was
this
was actually the base.
Yes.
So going from, and I'm going to go back again.
Okay.
This is going from the arts.
Yes.
To the base.
Yes.
To where what you're doing now with the coaching and stuff.
Right.
So it's funny to me that, okay, so this was 3 years ago. Okay.
7 years ago, I started the nonprofit.
Yeah.
And 3 years ago, I started Answers for Women.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm in my 4th year now.
Okay. So then this is all, it's just a joint thing of all merging everything together and learning from each one. Yeah. And then I guess that's why you say you get, some of the ladies you're still in contact with. Mm-hmm. And then how are some of them doing?
They're doing well in general. I mean, times change and their children grow up so quickly,
yes.
as you may know.
Yes.
Don't know if you have children,
yes.
but they grow up so fast. So the little kids I knew that were 3 and 4,
right?
Now they're 7, 8, and 10.
Yeah,
some
even
older. So we had a kids program where they could be babies right up to 16, and once you're 16, you became an LIT,
okay,
a leader in training, and you got to help with the program and help with the kids.
Yeah, and give back.
So kids are all different ages now, much older, and the women are in all different places. It just depends what they've done and how they've handled things, and what tools they've used, and also what other things in this community that they've reached out to for help. Because unfortunately, it was called Insight is Single Mom Support Group. Fortunately, we just couldn't stay open anymore. But people still call me. I have the same phone number. People still call, and then I try to direct them to what helps in the community.
The best thing to go.
And what's out there, right? But from what I know, there's not much out there like that. It was really unique. But anyway, so my Answers for Women, I said you can still come to this because we don't have a children's program. So if they have little ones, it's a little bit challenging for them to find. They have to find daycare or babysitter or whatever. But I encourage them to take time for themselves.
That's the main thing.
And my group now, we're meeting twice a month. So it's not too much, right, to find time for yourself.
Right. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to tack into the coaching aspect and how you dive into the coaching. And then this is the main thing now. What your prime thing is doing is to help women and coaching and thing. So we'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Discover the incredible India.
Hey, I'm back. How you guys doing? See, Chelsea, she's giving me stories behind the scenes, and we're always doing things fun. But I'm gonna get back to. We're gonna post it on the Instagram behind the scenes, and I tell you some interesting stories we're finding out here in Brampton. But besides that, we got my guest here. Please reintroduce yourself.
Hi, my name's Beth Hudson.
All right, so earlier, if you're just tuning in, we talked about your life is in doing the arts program and in doing a beautiful program helping single mothers and getting them, you know, the key components that they need, right? Yes. But then how I found you is because you do coaching, yes. Okay? Mm-hmm. And then you do coaching for inspiring women to get to the next level and doing that stuff. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about coaching. How did the coaching start? Well, obviously it started from here, yes. But I mean, like, how did you, when this shut down, how did you say, you know something, I need to coach? It doesn't come out of you just like that. You something had to have to happen while you're doing this to trigger something.
I think it was just a gradual, gentle little push from my soul and to my higher self and probably the higher powers. Like I was doing it naturally when I had the nonprofit. Women would come to my office and ask me, let me know what's going on in their life and ask me for help. So I was directing them to what help's out there and I was helping them create clarity. So I was doing that for 3 years just naturally. And then when I started Answers for Women, I was thinking about today when I facilitate these workshops. So I think I've done over 300 now. Mm-hmm. And I'll stand in front of the group, and it can be anyone from 10 to over 100 women. And I would always say, I'm not the expert, but I'm so glad to bring you the experts. And I would bring all these amazing women entrepreneur speakers that would share their wisdom and their knowledge and their passions and so on. So, and I would step back. Mm-hmm. Because I always feel like I'm just one of the women, right? Right. Because of my background, they said my education and so on, right? But I have a business coach I'm working with and life coaches, and they're pushing me and prompting me to come more to the forefront with my work. So I wrote 3 books. Okay. I sell my books. They're on the websites, and I sell them at my events. But I wouldn't get up in front and talk about them, and I wouldn't talk about my work. I would be like, I'm so glad to introduce everyone, make everyone feel welcome and at home, and I'm like, all right, and here's your experts. Yeah. And then I could just go do like one of these. Yeah. But because I'm half introverted, so the introvert in me is so glad to sit in the back and be the student. But then and then the extrovert in me is like, hey, let's run workshops and have all these people and be in front of everybody.
But then I'm just like, even you just mentioned that, like the 3 books, that's amazing. But that's not you to push it out there. Right. Yes. Right.
So, my coaches are encouraging me to step more to the forefront. And one lady I was chatting with last week, her name's Elvira Hopper, she's from Mississauga, and she's a life coach. And she was saying, it's time. Yeah. It is time. You need to step up, step into your space, be the leader. Mm-hmm. And it's not always my comfort zone. It's not my comfort zone to public speak. And I've been doing it for 7 years. Yeah. So it's like, it's in my head. I'm like, why am I doing this to myself? I don't know if anybody else can relate. When you push yourself past your comfort zone. Yes. I don't know, when you started your show or whatever, you're probably going to, some people are like, hey, I want to do this. And you jump right in. I'm living my dream. And other people are like, what the heck did I sign up for?
But the thing is what we talk about here in the show, that's the main thing. And that's what we talk about here in the show. If you don't jump, if you don't take that step, you'll never know if you can do it. Right. And now you're doing it, but you said you've done 300 workshops. Yes. You got 3 books out. Yes. You kind of jumped already. Yeah. It's just you didn't open your chute yet. Yeah. You know what I mean? You're sitting there, you're free falling still. And it's time to just now open the chute, right?
Yes.
So that's great.
So I have a new website now. I used to call my coaching Soul Map.
Okay.
And now it's called, my website's BethanyHudson.com. And I call it Biggest Best Life. And that's my hashtag.
Okay.
So I'm working with a gentleman right now on creating all of my coaching programs into downloadables, videos. So we're working on that for the new year. And I have some new events planned on my website and coaching programs as well. And I also have a one-day event coming up in the fall called Soul Connection for Success. So I have events coming, and I coach women one-on-one. I've done it by Skype, and I've done it in person, and I do full-day coaching sessions and hourly and so on. There's different options, but they're very creative. My things that I'm really big on, and it's part of my story, which I think most people, when they do something that's they're passionate about, it's based on their story.
Of course, it has to be a story,
based on your challenges and so on, the things that happened, they say, for you, not to you.
Right.
So I'm big on putting yourself first.
Okay.
Creating your dream life, deciding what that is, looking at who do you want to be, how do you want to live, what do you want to represent, what do you believe, right? So I wrote a blog about it this morning, and I encourage women to start asking these deeper questions that we well, should, but life is so busy. So when do we find the time to do these things?
Right. So I'm gonna stop you for a second, because I'm jotting down all this stuff. There's so much amazing stuff that you're doing. Yes. That's why, and I found you, like I said, doing certain, like a chunk of it, and that's why I brought you on the show. But then there's so many other stuff. So you have a blog. Okay.
I blog on Facebook, on LinkedIn.
Okay. Yeah. So that's one aspect that people can, keep in touch with you. So check out the blog on LinkedIn and on Facebook. Mm-hmm. All right.
My name's Beth Hudson, but my nickname's Bethany. So sometimes you'll see Bethany Hudson.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And then you also have, you're connecting with Success. That's an event coming up?
Yeah, that's Soul Connection for Success.
Soul Connection for Success. One day. When is that?
I believe it's Saturday, October 28th.
All right. So Saturday, October 28th.
In the Burlington area.
Okay, so Burlington. So, that's going out there. And then the website. Yes. All right. Tell us if we can log on to the website.
Yeah, so it's BethanyHudson.com.
BethanyHudson.com.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So then there's so much avenues that you're putting out there to help people, right? So there's so many things. So what is it? I heard you say you do one-on-ones, you do groups or whatever. What's the one that really drives you? Is it the one-on-ones? Is it the group sessions so everybody gets together? Which one is it?
I don't know if one drives me over the other one, but I know one-on-one makes such a difference.
Okay.
I've seen firsthand how much it affects women and changes their life, and they leave after 6 or 7 hours with me, totally different.
Okay.
Totally different woman. I've had one woman say she came in feeling like she's been dragging around luggage full of boulders her entire life, right? Of core fears, and that cause blocks and barriers that hold you back and hold you down, right? Those fears that we carry from our childhood, that we keep believing, right? That little voice in our head. So she felt during the coaching session, we were working through all types of things to get from point A to point B, and she said she felt like every time she was taking a boulder out of her suitcase, and her suitcase was getting lighter and lighter, and then at the end she says, I don't need my suitcase, I can just throw it out. So they leave literally lighter,
right?
Physically, mentally, spiritually lighter.
And then what's
and clearer.
And what is it that they come to you for? Is it because they have an opportunity, or they feel like they're holding themselves back? Like I talk to a lot of people, and sometimes they're at work, okay? They don't want to be a professional speaker. They don't want to go out and do a new job. They don't want to be an entrepreneur. They love their work,
right?
But they're afraid to get up and go through the door and ask that boss for a raise, for a higher position, or even if it's just to say, I know you're sending people off to get trained. How come I've never got sent to be trained yet? You know what I mean? Yeah. What is it most that you're getting from the women? What is it?
No, I would say most of my women are either entrepreneurs or want to be.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So some of them will come to me just for clarity in their personal life. But by the end of the session, we become very clear on what their soul purpose is, why they're here.
Okay.
What does their heart want? And there's some spiritual aspects to what I do. So we can meditate, we can talk to our heart and soul, and I can channel and give them information from the other side as well. So a soul purpose is a really big key piece in what I talk about and what I help them create clarity around. But as they're getting more clear on who they are and why they're here, building their self-esteem and letting go of any fears or any negative feelings or thoughts that hold them back, then they can step into the power and they can start to live who they're meant to be, how they're meant to live. And I'm big on kind of an elevated lifestyle. So reaching your highest potential and living the life of your dreams. Right. So women that know me know I love Italy and I love Europe, and I solo travel a lot. Right. And I'm a living example of you can manifest and do anything you want to do.
But your mind, if you say
you want it, you can make it happen. I've literally gone to Europe, planned it with $0.
Right, because that's what you wanted to do. You wanted to travel. You wanted to get there.
I had $230. This was last summer. I had $230, and I felt like I had to go back to Italy. I go every summer. Right. And I was like, well, I don't know if I can afford it right now. I have other things I need to take care of. And I meditated on it, and I heard go, or I saw go, big 3 times, big letters. I'm like, really? You sure? Because that wasn't enough. 3 big letters. Yeah. So I found a flight to London, England for $200. I found a flight from London to Venice for $30, and I found a train ticket to a friend that I'd met the year before, Zoe, in Tuscany, and I got to her place from Venice for $17, say.
Okay.
Something like that. So I think I had around $230, $250. And I was like, all right, I can get to her house.
Right.
And then I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm not eating. I'm not going anywhere. I don't know what I'm doing.
You're getting there. And that's the main thing, that you wanted to get there, and that was your focus.
I did it.
And then once you're there, you figure everything else afterwards.
Everything fell into place. And every time I've gone to Europe, because I go every summer, every time everything's fallen into place. So we worry. It's our way, right?
Yeah,
it's
our nature.
We worry more because everything we want clear. We want to know what's happening. We want to have a plan. We want to have it on paper.
Well, of course. We want to know how am I paying for this, how do this. And a lot of people.
And I'm like that too, right?
Yeah.
Practical,
right? But some people want to know too much, and I think, and that's what holds them back, right?
I'm learning to let go.
Learning to let go.
Yeah. So before I left, and the same thing the year before, I had a garage sale. I sold some things on Kijiji. I had some coaching clients. I had some graphic design, web branding clients. I ran a couple events. And before I left, and then I think I got some money from the government. Anyway, so before I left, I literally had enough for my budget to stay for the whole summer.
Right, so, because it comes in. You plan for it, and you see what you want from it. So
it was like one of those acts of faith where you're like, all right, either I'm crazy or this is gonna be amazing.
Right.
And it was amazing.
So then you have a nature about you that you help the clients direct their focus, direct their channel to make sure that whatever you're doing, there's always a channel of focus, because a lot of people, they'll go into business not focused, right? A lot of people go into business worried about something. So your main goal is to make sure that they understand exactly what they want to do and give them that extra clarity that, yes, this is something you should try, because at the end of the day, if you don't try it, it's going to be a hindrance later on in your life. Right?
Yeah, you'll always have regrets.
Always have regrets.
And I think because of my creative background, and that's just, as a designer by heart, that I can come up with so many creative ideas and solutions for them of ways to market or ways to run, create events or to create interest in what they're doing. And I have a lot of connections now from the work I've been doing for the last 7 years. So I'd love to connect people with each other and to connect them with what helps out there, or who to talk to, or who gets it, what has going through, have gone through exactly what they're going through.
Right.
So there's all these extra goodies I can put into working with the client, but I would do that naturally, like not as just for clients, but I just do that naturally. If I can help someone, I'll try to help them in any way I can.
Okay, so we're gonna go take another break, but when we come back, I heard you say something like easy tips, marketing tips. So when we come back, we're just gonna give our viewers 3 easy tips that you can help us share, just to do some things that maybe we can't figure out to do. Okay? So we'll be right back.
Think you have what it takes to bring value to the community? The TCN TV network is expanding and now accepting TV show proposals. Here's an opportunity to build celebrity status and become part of an elite group of community advocates that are focused on building, strengthening, and empowering our community in a positive way. Are you interested in embarking on a new adventure? TCN TV is searching for people interested in opportunities to change the conversation and pave an unforgettable legacy. If you feel you have something of value to offer, send a written show proposal to shows@mytcntv.com.
Are you retiring smart? Make your home's equity work for you. With your home's equity and our 30 years of experience, the Retire Smart Properties team can help you achieve the quality of life you've always wanted. Our services are 360 degrees. We'll give you advice, take care of staging and selling, and help you find the perfect home and community to transition to. It's time to enjoy the retirement lifestyle you deserve. Visit our website today to learn how you can use your home to retire comfortably. The Retire Smart Properties team, powered by RE/MAX West.
Hey guys, and we're back. We're just, feeling the love in the studio, figure out what's going on. And we're back. Please introduce yourself.
My name's Beth Hudson.
All right, so I got Beth with me. And before we went to break, Beth was talking about, how she helps different people with little small things, right? So I'm just going to pick your brain on little small tips. Somebody, tips you give people that they might not think of anything. Could be small or big, it's up to you, okay? All right, so tip 1, what would you give somebody as
I would say one of the biggest things that I promote and help with is creating clarity. Helping them to create clarity of where they're at and where they want to go.
Okay.
So, like I said, life's busy. We don't have time to sit down and think these things. We're moms, we're working, we have families, and we have people we care about, and we're caregivers and all kinds of things, right? So if there isn't clarity, then You're just going to go like this for a very long time. Right. The second thing I would say is be authentic. So finding out, discovering what really matters to you, digging deep into what makes your heart sing, and where your passions are. And it's typically linked to your story. So sometimes the hardest things you've been through, the most challenging things you've been through, most painful things you've been through are those soft spots where you have so much passion and compassion for other people. So as you get deep into that and you start connecting with your heart and soul and what your passion is and what your life purpose is, then it's like you're opening Pandora's box. You can't go backwards, right? You have to keep going. So being authentic with that and with yourself. And then the third thing, think big comes to mind right now. And I'm on that journey too. So sometimes we look at things based on what we know, what we see how things are being done, what other people are doing in our world, in our community. But I would kind of encourage women to think big, think outside of the box. Start just dreaming and thinking, what if I could make my life look like anything? If I could do anything, if I could live anywhere, if I could travel, if I could do this, that, or the other thing, what would that look like? Right? So there's no boundaries, there's no walls, just make it big, and then we'll work backwards from that, because it is possible and it's absolutely doable if you want it. But we don't always think that way. Because it's too big, it's too hard, it's too scary, it's going to cost too much. Who's going to sign up? I don't know. We don't know. It's okay. It's okay we don't know.
Right. And then I guess if you think big and you fall backwards because you thought so big, even falling backwards is still a big job, a big thing to do, because we put the bar so high. So even if we fall 3 steps, we're still way up here. Instead of doing it, starting off down here and then not doing it.
And isn't that what we tell our children?
That's what we're telling.
Right?
Aim high.
Like do marks in school or working hard and doing your best. Like just go for I tell my daughter, just go for the maximum of what you want. And if you don't get it, you're still a lot farther than you were than if you didn't try.
Right, because you went for the gusto. And that's the main thing. And then when you say authentic, it resonated with me, like to be you, to be different, right? Everybody sees
vulnerable.
Everybody sees everything online or on TV, so they think, oh, it's red. Red's the new color, so I have to wear red, right? We're following the trends.
Okay.
But meantime, you might be somebody different with the purples and the different colors, but that's you. That will make you stand out, and that might gravitate other people to flip colors. But because you are following the trend, you don't shine. So I like that you said, I like that you say, be different, be authentic, be you. It's a different type of feel. A lot of people don't like to do that.
Well, I think that you can tie that into all kinds of ways in your life, right? So when I work with clients with my graphic design and branding, I have created about 8 or 10 different branding styles. Now, what I say is what we're going to do is pick your top 3. We're going to figure out what the top 3 are, and then we're going to blend them together to make their website uniquely them. Okay. Because not everyone fits into a box, and you don't want to anyway. Right. So it's just a starting point to get people to understand and women to understand what is their style. And their style it's like filters down into all different areas of their life. So they're decorating their office, their clothing, their branding, and so on. So if they're, say, an earthy and natural style, and they discover that, go, yes, absolutely, I love that. They want that in their home. It's going to make them happy. That they want to dress like that because that's where they're comfortable. And then you want their branding to represent who they are. So you can't have branding that's not true and authentic and supporting what you're going to get when you meet that person, right?
Right.
Yeah. So it's not necessarily about changing other people, though I think the way of the world now, especially in business, especially with women, is it's okay to be vulnerable and it's okay to be open and honest and be who you are, and don't try to be cookie cutter.
Right.
We don't have to be business like 1985, right? So wear what you want to wear, and you'll attract the like-minded, right?
Yeah.
So, and that's perfect because that's your track.
And that's your goal, is to attract like-minded people with you, to grow with them. Right. So
your community.
Right. So here's a question I ask, and I get different answers, and I find it interesting. As women, I always say women have, you got your girl packs, okay? You guys travel, everything. And then you'll have people on your team, family members, everything, that are always with you and against you. Meaning you might say one day to a friend and say, I think I want to open up an ice cream parlor. Right? And then you have some that say, oh, great. And some like, oh, do you really want to do that? And then you have some that say, it's always negative.
Right.
How do you filter the positive and the negative friends around you? And then here's a part two. And here's a part two. Do you get rid of them? Or do you still keep them as friends, but don't tell them about the business?
Yeah. That's a great question, and we delve into that when I coach with women. When I coach one-on-one, it is definitely a piece of what happens. Because when I start coaching with women, I spend a full day with them. I call it Create Your Dream Life. The first thing we do is dig into their emotions of what's happening in their life right now.
Okay.
And we get really clear on that, and they don't even realize until they start filling out, like I have forms, I have journaling, and all these questions to get them to write and think, and I'm writing as I'm going.
Yeah.
And we're getting really clear on what feelings are going on in their life right now. And then we fine-tune it so it's very clear. Like, these are your top 3 negative feelings you're dealing with. These are your top 3 positive, and this is why. And as soon as you get really clear on that, it becomes very clear who in your life is hurting you, affecting you, bringing you down. And like I said, they might not be the most positive, supportive person. And we can't always choose because, we have family, our neighbors, our coworkers.
Yes,
We can't choose those, right? We can choose our friends.
Yeah.
We can choose who we choose to surround ourselves with. So what's a nice thing about Answers for Women, it's a positive, supportive place, a safe place for women to come that they're cared about legitimately. Like, it's authentic. To me, it's not about quantity, it's about quality.
Right.
I would rather have 10 people there, though I don't, I have more, but I'd rather have 10 and have quality relationships with those 10 than have hundreds and people come in and out and they don't know
who's
me,
who,
and they don't get to meet people, they don't really get to communicate. But on a personal level, right? Build meaningful relationships. So there's things like that where I encourage women to look at who's in their life, who they're spending their time with, and then create boundaries. So if there are, like you said, people in your life that maybe are negative or Debbie Downers or pulling you down or keeping you small, then you got to draw the line. And what that line is up to them. If it's, they can be in my life but only so much, they're not going to be in my life at all, or I absolutely have to keep them in my life. It's your mother or something. I kind of have to keep that. But you have to learn ways to deal with that, and then decide, are there times to do smaller visits? Do you walk away? Do you, right? Do you change the subject? Do you comment? Do you ground yourself and protect yourself with your energy when you're in these spaces? It's like there's tips and tools as well that you can use, but that is definitely a part of life. Right. But one thing I say, and it really hit me last year when I was in Europe, was the word expectations. Okay. And I think this is a big one for us in life, is that we have expectations of how every scenario is supposed to go, right? If it's our boss, they should love us. If it's our spouse, they should think we're the best, right? We have this, like a movie that runs in our head of every scenario and how amazing it should be, right?
The dream world.
And it's always like the perfect scenario, right? World, and then we're like, oh, that's disappointing. If somebody doesn't think you're the best or the greatest or see you for who you are or love your big heart or whatever, it just happens, right? Because everyone's on their own path and we can't control their path. We can only control ours, and they're going to come into our world, and then we can pick and choose what that looks like. But if we go into every scenario without any expectations and understand I'm on my path, I'm on my journey, and I'm just living and I'm doing the best I can, giving the love, and whatever they're doing, that's their choice. So I'm not going to take it personally, right? I'm not going to hold on to everything like it's my life or death. Right. And I got that from, I was in Rome, and I was in this cafe, and I'm having this nice lunch and wine, and I'm listening to these beautiful musicians in front of this market, and then there was this young girl at another table, and she was a little upset, and she was going on and on with this woman that would look like maybe a mentor for her, and she was crying, and she was so frustrated about her mom and the way her mom made her feel and the way her mom talked. But I mean, this went on for an hour, and I'm going, oh man. I'm on vacation, but man, oh man,
you want to jump in.
Could we ever have some great discussions right now? Because it hit me. It's expectations. She has such high expectations of how she wants her mom to make her feel, and what she needs and wants from her mom, which is a whole other discussion and sometimes
they don't know.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes
they might not even know what they're doing.
No, and sometimes she wants an expectation from her mom. Yeah. But she's never told her mom what she wants. Right. So her mom has no idea that she's doing anything wrong. But every day she's stressing herself out. Yeah. And all she had to do is maybe go talk to her, communicate, figure out what the boundaries are between both of them, and it could be a lot easier. Yes. But we don't take that challenge. Right. And that's what you say here, that we don't put an expectation. They say, you know something, Mom, this is what you do, and I don't know if it's something that I'm doing or you're doing, but I would love if you just support me on A, B, and C.
Absolutely.
But instead, she's sitting at a cafe,
crying in Rome.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
While the music's playing and the wine's pouring, I'm like, oh man, this is sad.
Yeah, because she's not explaining
Really?
it, and I like
we
that.
do that, right? And it's just it's human nature, right?
Right.
We have these expectations, and then we're the victim when we're hurt and when we're disappointed.
Right.
And the thing is, you could turn that around, that we're actually not the victim, that we can pick and choose, and we can understand their behaving. Other people behave based on their story, right? Based on their upbringing, what they know, what they've been taught. And it's not the same as ours. So that's when we're like, oh, there's a little conflict here because I would act this way. Why aren't you acting that way?
Right?
So.
All right. We're going to take another break, but when we come back, I want to talk real quick about what you just said. We get to choose. We get to choose the scenarios and situations, and we're going to touch on that real quick. We'll be right back.
Discover the incredible India.
Welcome back, guys, and how you doing? We're just talking about good vibrations and having fun and the vibes. And then this is a funny thing because we were talking about we get to choose.
Yes.
Okay, we get to choose some of our scenarios in our life. I had somebody in here and tell me if this is what you're saying. Is like in my life in the past, and you know I've had this pain from this person for years, and then someone told me, goes, every time you see that person or every time you think about it, you get all stressed out. And I go, yeah. And then the person said, well, do you think they get stressed out? Do you think they're thinking about it? Do you think when they see you, they think the same way you are? And it took me for 30 seconds. I go, wait a minute. They probably don't even care. They probably don't even know that I'm stressed out. They don't even know what they did to me. Because if I don't say nothing to them,
right,
who cares?
Yeah.
But every day, I think about it. I see the person. I get stressed about it. I worry about it.
Yeah.
That's destroying me,
you're
not
torturing
them.
yourself.
I'm torturing myself.
Yes.
So then, like you said, we get to choose. We get to choose to say, you know something? It's over and done with. Let it go.
Let it go.
We get to choose to say, let me go call this person, or we get to choose to say, let's go do it. The choice is ours. But we don't make that choice all the time. And why is that, do you think?
We forget we have the power, I think, and that it's our life and we're in complete control. We're masters of our universe, right?
Yeah.
So we forget that, and we let other people take our power away, and it happens from your little all the way up, teenagers to childhood, teenager, young 20s, etc. And then it's your boss, and then it's your landlord, or whatever. We constantly get our power taken away. So that's the thing. You got to step back and breathe,
right?
Calm, and then think about what's in your best interest and what do you want, how do you want to live.
Right.
So do you want to be full of anger and fear and hostility?
Yeah.
Maybe not full, but a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Frustration. Or do you want to just be peaceful, let things go. Understand that's their path and that's their story. It's not going to be yours.
Right.
You don't want it to be yours, right? You're choosing differently for yourself. So yeah, it's an expectation thing again, right? You have expectation that person is going to treat you a certain way, right? And be kind or be loving or be supportive or whatever, and they didn't.
And it's funny that you said take your power away, and like this is like the third person that I've talked to that says don't let people take your power. You've got the power. And I guess, like you said, we totally forget sometimes that we control our destiny. We control the power. So it's like when I reached out to you to come on the show, the power's in your hands now. If you want to come or don't want to come or do what you want to do, no one's forcing you. You don't have this thing hovering over you. Oh, I should go, or maybe, you know what I mean? Like, if you don't want to do it, you just don't want to do it. It's your power. Don't let people force you to do something or not to do something.
Right.
But the difference is, you took a chance, you leaped, and you did different things. So at the end of the day, the question I have for you is, we go back in time. What would you say to the younger version of you?
I think it's believe in yourself, and I think I knew I did.
Yeah.
There was a small part of me. I had some stuff in my childhood that wasn't a lot of fun, and kind of felt like I was pushed down constantly, beaten down. So like there was a lot of bullying in school and so on, and I felt like I wasn't lovable or I wasn't good enough for most of my childhood, or all my childhood really. So I would say believe in yourself, but I do know I had that spark in me that even though things were happening or kids were being horrible at school, I would hear in my head, I know I'm not that person they think I am, and I know I'm going to be much bigger than this, right? I'm going to get past this. So you just got to be resilient, tolerant, and just like keep your head down and keep going. And then luckily I had really positive people and experiences in my life that brought out my leadership qualities. I went to camps in the summer, and I was involved in my youth group at church and choir and so on. And so I had camp counselors and pastors that believed in me, that gave me positions of leadership and opportunities to come forward and show my extroverted side and to do things that brought me joy but also helped other people as well. So those kind of outlets made a huge difference for me. So I'm really big on that with children, is to give them as many opportunities as you can to so one situation, because kids spend so much time at school, that the situation is not positive and healthy, and they have other things that are going to show them that there's a whole other side to them than what, if your world's small and people are pushing you down, that's all you think you are, right? That's all you know. So yeah, and it's same as adults too. The more situations and things that we're involved in, the more opportunities that we're in. If we're in supportive environments that raise us up and give us possibilities and opportunities to grow, then that's the best thing, because not everything in life is 100% positive. So we want to make sure that we're filling our bucket. Right. Not just, we don't want to leak out of it too. Yeah, but we want to heal the wounds. Yeah. So like stops the leaks and then start filling it, so that once we're full and filling over, then we can help other people with all the abundance that we have, right? And all the knowledge and wisdom we have. Yeah.
Okay, before we go, because this is a great discussion, I see that a lot more ladies out there are watching us live and say, okay, spit out the number, get them information, give them all the details that they can find your website, your contact, Facebook, everything. Go ahead.
Okay. So I have a few websites because I wear a few different hats. So if you're interested in answers for women, right now I'm running workshops out of Burlington, Ontario, and Monday nights twice a month from September until November, and that's called the Fall Series. So you can find that information on the website. It's answersforwomen.ca. We're going to be delving into spirituality, putting yourself first, creating a clear path to success, and so on. And then my one-day event is through my Biggest Best Life program. So that's on my other website, my coaching website, which is bethanyhudson.com. And that's Saturday, October 28th. And that's a full day. It's going to be amazing. You're going to leave different and clear and optimistic and excited about your future. Yeah, so that's going on. As far as the graphic design, branding, when I work with my women entrepreneurs, I have a website for that as well. So it's called finedesignstudio.com, but design doesn't have an E. just to mess with people. No, honestly, it's like there's no domains left. Not to confuse people. So it's fine and then design, DSIGN, studio.com. Okay. So I think that's all of them. Yeah. All right. Facebook, I have a page, Bethany Hudson, and it's life coach, and then I have 2 Facebooks.
Right, and then there's a blog. I remember there's a blog on there, so you can get the blog on there.
Yeah, so on Facebook, there's Answers for Women groups. That's probably the best way, is to jump on that. Yeah. And then I post a lot of the events and what's going on there, and the blogs and so on. And then I'm on LinkedIn.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. Before we go, you're on CMJ Live. What we do is called a shout out. Okay. So this is your opportunity to shout out everybody you want to shout out, say hi to anybody. This is your opportunity to thank anybody.
Wow,
Go ahead.
cool. That's awesome. Okay, so the mentor I talked about earlier, name's Vivian Dion, and she was a housing coordinator in the apartment I lived in, and she was amazing, and we stay in touch, and she's been a huge impact in my life. Elvira Hopper, I mentioned today, she's in Mississauga, and she did a coaching call with me, complimentary, and she's awesome, so I highly recommend her. And then Julia I've been working with, she's my business coach, and she's fantastic as well. So, and they're all on my Facebook group, so you can connect with them as well.
All right.
Yeah,
Thank you so much for taking the time out. Guys, enjoy, be grateful, take that step. Have a good one.
Thanks.